gentlemen, welcome back to another broadcast of The Weekly with me, Neff. Please subscribe to the channel and share this video with a couple of friends and colleagues. Want to get 1,000 subscriptions here, and every subscription helps out with that goal. We appreciate your support. New subscribers, welcome to the channel, and older subscribers, thank you for continuing to support the channel and helping spread the word. Once again, Fantastic Four, the topic of discussion. Let's talk about the specifics. The Fantastic Four First Steps test screening reactions called movie mid and meh. Should we be worried? Following a test screening for the Fantastic Four First Steps, we have detailed feedback from those in attendance, and their response thus far appears decidedly mixed, with one person calling it mid. A public test screening for the Fantastic Four First Steps took place in Los Angeles earlier this week, and more details about what to expect have started finding their way online. It's always been best to take feedback like this with a pinch of salt, because dozens of people attend these screenings, and only a small handful of them feel the need to share their thoughts with certain outlets and reporters. And they're typically the ones who didn't like what they saw, so it's definitely going to be a skewed perspective. The Insider's Jeff Snyder, for example, previously reported that Sinners had a mixed response at test screening, suggesting Warner Brothers should be worried. The movie sits at a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes and has made over $340 million worldwide. Also, I'm hearing that that second film is in development. That had a $90 million budget, so a success there. We've talked about Sinners more than a few times, ladies and gents. Great film, one of the better films of the year so far. We're not taking this too seriously, as I said in the last video. People are going to say this and that because they have a built-in bias. It's not a lot of objectivity, especially when you go into films like this. This is a film that has a lot of pressure on it, right? A lot of expectations for Disney and Marvel. While it is good to give your opinion on it, you want to come out and say things that are more specific rather than just saying the film is mid. It's a very lazy way to actually describe a film in its entirety, but let's continue. However, Snyder is only sharing what he's been told and has now offered up feedback from the Fantastic Four First Steps test screening. My source called it both mid and meh, and not that bad, but not that good either, he explains. More concerningly, they said it featured weak character development and bad CGI, though the latter issue will certainly be addressed over the next month in post-production, obviously. In general, Marvel doesn't do public test screenings unless they're worried. That was the case with Eternals, The Marvels, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and Captain America Brave New World. While I initially heard that Marvel was high on First Steps internally, Snyder continues, a separate industry source who has not seen the finished film himself has sounded the alarm in recent weeks that the film is a mess and a huge problem movie. That said, it sounds like Ralph Ineson's Galactus went over well with the crowd last night, which is encouraging, seeing as how Marvel has had a villain problem as of late. That sounds far from promising, and Marvel Studios has only a couple of months to fix the Fantastic Four First Steps. From what we've heard, the movie was scoring a 6 and 7 out of 10, while the cut shown had very rough VFX. I'll also chime in here and say if they're giving a Fantastic Four a 7 out of 10, that's pretty good for Fantastic Four films. People seem to forget that Fantastic Four films critically get panned outside of that first one, which came out in the early 2000s. I want to say around like 2005. The other Fantastic Fours have not fared well, so to get a 7 out of 10 is not a bad thing. Do you want it to be a little better than that as a viewer? Sure, but you got to look at the franchise that you're dealing with. Now let's discuss a little bit of positivity for the film in the test screenings. Viewer Anon says the general reaction I'm hearing is okay, but it's not a big sample size. A couple people have said the first act's shaky, but it gets better once Galactus shows up. Worth noting, I've heard the film is very unfinished, much more than you'd expect from something coming out in 2 months. Adding that it sounds cute, fun, and geeky, the leaker pointed out that the Fantastic Four First Steps reactions are more consistently okay, whereas the Superman reactions swing wildly between love, like, didn't like, and hate. And I've referenced that before, especially when we talked about the battle between Superman and Fantastic Four. This upcoming Superman film is going to be very polarizing. I feel that this Fantastic Four film is going to be polarizing as well, but not as much as Superman, especially because of the direction that Superman is being taken in by James Gunn. But I think Fantastic Four is going to be polarizing in the sense that this is what you're going to get leading into Spider-Man Brand New Day and Doomsday and Secret Wars. But let's wrap things up. We'll see what happens, but Marvel Studios needs a win. If this reboot disappoints, it's going to cut plans for Marvel Studios' first family off at the knees, like relegating them to supporting character status in future Avengers movies. And so, ladies and gents, as we've spoken on multiple times, the Fantastic Four First Steps releases on July 25th, 2025, and a huge film for Marvel. Please let me know what you think about this news of these test screenings. Like I said, we're dodging the spoilers, but still getting good, pertinent information. Let me know if you're going to watch this film. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed to the channel, and share this video with a couple of friends and colleagues. Be safe. It's Neff signing off.